Let's talk about something that honestly can be one of the most stressful parts of being a licensed professional. From cosmetologists to contractors, that moment you have to communicate with your state board. It can be intimidating. So today, we're going to break down a masterclass in how to handle these high-stakes conversations, all based on the amazing work of the Louisville Beauty Academy.
So just imagine this for a second. An email pops up in your inbox. The subject line has your license number, and the sender, it's the state board. What's the very first thing you feel? Is it that little jolt of adrenaline, that spike of anxiety? Yeah, for most of us, it's straight up panic. But the key isn't to pretend you don't feel that, it's to have a system in place that makes the panic totally irrelevant.
And that system? It starts right here, with understanding one single, non-negotiable rule. This is probably the most important thing you'll hear today. Every single word you write to a state agency is a public record. And that one little fact? It changes absolutely everything about how you need to communicate.
So what does public record actually mean when you're in the thick of it? Well, it means that your words have a life of their own long after you hit send. You're not just writing an email to one person. You're writing for a potential audience you may never, ever meet.
Think about the journey of a single email you send. It doesn't just go to one inbox. It can be passed around to different staff members, maybe it gets summarized for a supervisor, and who knows if they'll keep the emotional context you felt when you wrote it. It could even be discussed out loud in a public board meeting. And to top it all off, a journalist or even a competitor could get a copy of it through an open records request. So yeah, your private email is never really private.
And this quote from the source material just nails the strategy. This is your shield. Your communication has to be a performance, really, of your best professional self. It's not about being fake, not at all. It's about being strategic. Being professional isn't just a nice idea, it's literally a protective measure.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, the Louisville Beauty Academy has built their entire way of operating around this idea, and it's a super powerful framework for anyone in a licensed profession.
They call it gold standard over-compliance by design. Now, this isn't just about ticking the right boxes to meet the bare minimum. The whole point is to intentionally go above and beyond what's required, to document absolutely everything, and to build systems that are so strong they basically answer any questions before they're even asked.
Let's break that down. Over-compliance by design just means you build all your processes to be completely verifiable, totally transparent, and protective for everybody. It's a proactive strategy. You're not just sitting around waiting for a problem to happen so you can react. You're designing a system that makes those problems way less likely in the first place.
And this whole philosophy really stands on three simple pillars. That's it. Number one, focus on the facts, not your emotions. Two, document everything, and I mean completely. And three, stay patient and be persistent. These three things are the foundation for everything we're about to see. So let's see how they hold up in a real-life situation.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this all works when the pressure is on. We're going to walk through an actual case file here and see this whole philosophy in action.
So it all starts with this, an item on a public board meeting agenda. Can you imagine seeing your business name right next to the words failure to report hours? I mean, that is an instant heart stopper. It sounds really serious, and if you don't have any context, it looks like you did something terribly wrong.
But instead of sending back a panicked, emotional email, look at this response. The tone is so calm, it's respectful, it's professional, there's no arguing, no accusing. It just presents the facts, points to the documentation, and offers to work with the agency to figure things out. This is a perfect textbook example of focusing on facts, not feelings.
And you want to know how many back and forths it took to get this sorted out? 12. 12 separate emails to resolve what turned out to be a simple miscalculation on the agency side. This is that pillar of patience in action. It's almost never a one-and-done kind of thing. Professional persistence is absolutely key.
And this right here is so important to understand. On the left, you've got the agenda. That's just the list of things they're going to talk about. It's just the start of a conversation. But on the right, you have the minutes, and that is the final official record of what actually happened and what was decided. An accusation on an agenda is not a conviction. The minutes, that's where the truth lies. Now you might be thinking, wow, that is a lot of work just to protect a business. But the truth is, the real goal here is something way more important.
All this careful record-keeping, this whole system, it directly protects the students. When every single hour is documented and can be verified, a student's hard work can't just disappear because of a clerical error. Their training holds up under an audit, their path to getting a license is secure, and a simple mistake somewhere doesn't end up derailing their entire career.
And really, that's the whole point. It's about taking human error and opinion and, I think I remember, out of the equation. This kind of system creates a real, objective, verifiable record of a student's education. Their future shouldn't depend on someone's memory or a lost piece of paper. It should depend on data that's been documented and proven.
So let's wrap all this up into a few key takeaways. Think of these as the core mantras that should guide every single time you have to talk to a regulatory agency.
First and foremost, the way you act is your armor. A calm, respectful, professional tone immediately de-escalates things and shows that you're a serious partner in solving a problem, not creating one. It is your first and best line of defense.
And next up, your records are your evidence. A complete, organized trail of communication and data gives you the context and the facts you need. So if professionalism is your armor, then documentation, that's your shield. It defends the truth.
And finally, just understanding that government agencies are often understaffed, and these processes take time. That's a strategic advantage. Rushing things or demanding answers right now usually just backfires. Patience lets the process work the way it's supposed to, and that's what leads to the right outcome.
Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. Take a hard look at your own professional habits. When you communicate, when you keep records, are you just doing enough to get by? Or is your system actually truly designed to protect you, your business, and most importantly, the people you serve?